Hey, welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to have a quick chat with you guys about entering the art world or penetrating the art world. Art world, in one word, it is not the most welcoming place. If you have tried, I'm sure you'd agree with me. I want to talk about this because in the past 12 months, I have been experiencing something very similar. That is entering the world of academia. As a junior researcher, first year Ph.D. student, I had a lot of struggles, difficulties, and I was feeling very frustrated. Why is it so hard to get into the world of academia? Like, what am I expected to do? How should I go about it? Like, I was so lost. And through this journey of the past 12 months, I learned a lot of very valuable lessons that I think I want to share with you, and you can benefit from what I've learned, and you can use it to build your strategies to enter the world of art. So today I'm going to share with you 5 things I've learned, and if you know academia, you'll be able to benefit from this video more. If you don't know either the world of art and the world of academia, then it can be a little bit confusing. I'll try to use examples and simple language to make sure anyone could benefit from today's video. So without further ado, let's jump right in. The first thing I learned is that you need to know the language. Of course, it's not just the literal language like English, French, Spanish, Chinese, or the language where you want to get into. And there are also other kind of meanings like connotations, what it really entails. In every sector, region, it's different in terms of language. For example, I know many American artists coming to Europe using the word artist entrepreneur. Like, I'm an entrepreneur. It's really cool. Entrepreneur is a very positive word because, it means you are resilient, you are a fighter, you're a hard worker, you take risks, and that's very good. I've done my MBA and I'm very proud to say that I am an entrepreneur. But the problem is that in the world of art, in Europe, if you call yourself entrepreneur, you just made a marketing campaign for your marks. It sounds kind of bad because people here, like the art professionals, don't really like when other artists, especially junior artists, use extremely commercial wordings. You just have to rephrase it. Instead of saying marketing, you say communications, It's just different ways to call it. You don't have to fight it. You just need to know that this word means different things in this area, in this sector, in this industry. Try to use a different word that is better accepted, right? So I'll tell you an example in the world of academia. In one of the courses, I need to deliver an assignment that is a poster presentation. I thought, poster presentation. Okay, easy. That means my face is on a poster. I like this Batman here. Poster presentation. No, I was so wrong. Like, I could laugh at myself for a few minutes, just like, give me a break. I need to laugh at myself. Poster presentation actually means that you're in front of a A0 poster, and you need to show the charts, the findings, methodologies, and you need to, let's say, interact with audience who come in and say, what does it mean? Tell me about your research, and, why is this? Why is that? Why you use this methodology, and blah, blah, blah. So it's actually like in art fair, you're talking about your artwork to collectors or art critics who are passing by. So it's totally different than what I've thought, just trying to interpret from the vocabulary in a literal sense. So you cannot assume, you cannot guess. My suggestion is to check with someone within the industry or do your research before assuming. Number 2, know the basic do's and don'ts of the, let's say, rules of the game of this industry. It's like when you play poker, Texas Hold'em or blackjack. It's very different rules you need to know in order to win this game. Of course, playing this game is optional. Nobody forces you to enter the world of art. Nobody forces me to do a PhD. But if you want to get it, you better comply. And after you are somebody in this field, you can change the rules of the game from within. For example, an artist asked me, I want to go into ARCO as an artist. Tell me how to apply. I was like, do you have a gallery? She's like, no. I was like, no, you cannot. And she's like, what do you mean? I want to. Well, ARCO for the past 41 years is the biggest art fair in Southern Europe, and it's one of the most important, not just for art market, but also for the art world as well. They do not accept individual artists. You need to be a gallery that is open for at least 2 years, and you need to fulfill XYZ, a list of requirements in order to apply. Then they will consider and they will decide if you get in or not, depending on a set of their own values and criteria. So it's not up to you, right? So they decide you don't. You're junior. You need to abide in order to gain your place. As a researcher, I didn't realize that when I publish an article, in most cases, I need to pay for publication. So I was like, what? That's predatory publishing. That's wrong. As a creative writer, ever since I was 12 years old, I received money for my publications. I never have to pay. So I was like, no way. But then I realized that, hey, I want to play the game. I better pay. I better just do it like everybody else. And after maybe I'm somebody, I can start my own journal and I can be the chief editor. I can find findings and I can say, nobody pays for this publication. Maybe. But right now I need to know, okay, this is the norm. I better follow the norm and prepare some budget for publications. Number 3, you need to fill the gap. If you're familiar with writing your thesis or academic research, you probably know, you have heard it a million times, find the gap and fill the gap. So the gap means a gap in the research. So first, you need to read a lot of books and journals to see what's the current state of the research and find out a weak spot, like maybe some things that people didn't talk about, or there are some data or some research lacking in this particular field, and you just basically go in there, design your piece of research, filling in that particular hole so that you can contribute, let's say, a break in the wall in your own ways. So it's the same in the world of art. You need to know the art history. You need to see what is lacking in the current state of art making, and then contribute to the art history. And you might say, I don't want to be an old master. I want to make money when I'm young, right? So, okay, you need to identify the hole in the art market. Someone is doing this, someone is doing that. You don't want to copy this and that. You want to do something different where nobody's doing so that you can fill that niche. So in the market, it's called niche. In the research, it's called the gap. Okay, number 4, you need to choose your methodologies or methodology. It's as important as choosing one and not choosing one. It's as a junior researcher, one of the common mistakes that I also made was to use every single methodology that I could get my hands on, like content analysis, bibliometric, and interview and survey and this and that, and quantitative, qualitative, mixed method. I felt like I was not enough and I need to push harder. I need to do everything. But then one of the experts told me, don't try to do everything because finally you're not doing nothing, right? You try to focus on 1 or 2 as a start, and your research is just 200-300 pages of a slice of the cake. You're not trying to bake the whole cake. The whole cake is your life's work. And right now focus on that piece of cake and try to do it well, design it well. So as an artist, you also need to define your tools and processes. And the justification of using these tools or not using these tools, using this process and not using this process is your discourse. And your art style, the final work is, let's say, the result of your choices. Number 5, last but not the least, you need a network of like-minded artists. You need to get their approval. You need friends in the world of art, also in the world of academia. When I first got in, I knew that I need to publish 4 to 6 journal articles in order to graduate, and I knew that it's peer-reviewed. Okay, I knew peer review just by the wording, like the vocabulary, but I didn't know that it's such a systematic, such a transparent way, although not perfect, but nearly perfect compared to the world of art that is very opaque. So basically, I submit an article to an editor. The editor will have a look and say, okay, it's good, it's not good, and then pass it on to 2 industry experts in this field that is relevant to my research, and then have them look at my research without knowing my name. So it's double blind, and then after I will receive some feedbacks. After I change it, then I will publish it after paying, right? So again, paying for publication. So this whole systematic design of being approved by your peers is basically the knocking of the door of entering the world of academia as a researcher. So this is a very interesting kind of way to get in. In the world of art, you also need, of course, the approval of gallerists, museum curators, and art critics, and other fellow artists. Fellow artists less, but still, you don't want to make enemies. In this very difficult situation as an outsider getting into the world of art, you need as many friends as possible, right? So you need to form a circle of friends, like-minded artists around you to kind of form a collective and perhaps negotiate your ways in. Of course, within the collective, you can have sub-collectives. Some friends are, better than others, and maybe there are some conflicts of interest as well. But still, you have more advantages than disadvantages by forming this circle of friends, of network, of artists. So it's still worth doing. And then you will be able to share best practices, information, and perhaps do group shows together, right? You can achieve so much more as a collective than fighting alone. But the next thing before finishing the video is I would just want to quickly brush it through is that I know many artists told me I didn't go to art school, and the galleries would take artists directly from art school. So at the graduate show, they're already signed and I could not have any contact. I don't have any friends and it's impossible for me to get in because I didn't go to art school, blah, blah, blah. It's not fair. It's not fair. Like, oh, it's impossible. Screw the art world. It's impossible. It's so much bias. I agree. It is opaque. It is not fair. But at the same time, it is also in a way fair, because what gallerists are looking is the track record, and the art school graduate has spent a lot of money and time and energy and work to build their track record, and that is something, that is proof of work. You need to build that too. Just like in the field of research, in order to be accepted as a PhD researcher, usually you need a master's in the same domain and a bachelor's degree in the relevant domain as well. So if you say, I'm a high school dropout, I want to have a PhD, they don't accept me, it's not fair. Right? Like, in a way, it's fair, because if anyone can get in, if my master's and bachelor's work didn't mean nothing, then am I stupid or not to comply, to do all my research previously, right? So of course it means something, right? So at least it means what it means, right? It means 4 years of bachelor's degree, 3 years of MFA, that means 7 years of work. If this artist has done 7 years of work in art, researching, working every day, 35, 40 hours a week, it means you need to match that by showing, here's my portfolio, here's my proof of work, that I've worked as hard as those students. I didn't have the money, I didn't have the access, I have other difficulties, I didn't go to art school, but I did matching equivalent, here is the proof. So this is basically the spirit. You cannot just sit there and say, oh, I didn't go to art school. So go to art school, right? So if you want, come to Europe. Education is free. I pay 300 euro every year for my PhD. After 3 years of time, I will graduate and I will be allowed to work as a researcher or a professor. So this is what it costs. It costs a lot more effort than money. So if you really don't have the money, you still want to do the effort, come to Europe, have a public school accept you, and then voila, you are set, right? So maybe I'm just giving you a too narrow of an idea. You can brainstorm different ways to prove that you have the proof of work. Let me know in the comment below. I don't want to discourage you by limiting your choices. I'm sure that you can brainstorm and find the best way that is best suited for you. All right, so that's what I want to say today. It has been 13 minutes. I hope it's not discouraging for you to hear me talking about it. So let me know in the comment below, what is your plan? What's your difficulties and struggle trying to get into the world of art as an outsider, as a junior artist, or a person did not graduate from art school. Before finishing this video, I just want to give a big shout out to our patrons. Thank you very much for your support. Without you guys, I would not be able to achieve this. Alrighty, that's all for this video for today. I will see you in the next video. I better pack up because my train leaves for Madrid in a couple of hours. So I better pack my cameras right now and go for it. All right, see you in the next video.